Hey guys, so recently MMORPG.com did an interview with Suman Park. And if you guys didn't know who Suman Park is, he is the lead of Lost Ark in the West. So he is running the show over at AGS for us here in Lost Ark. And in that interview, they talked about a couple things. But I think one of the most important and interesting things they were talking about is Jumpstart 2.0. Yes, so they are planning to release another Jumpstart server in the future with some changes. Now, I'm not surprised that they're implementing some changes because honestly, I think that the last Jumpstart server was not that successful in piloting and moving forward their vision. So hopefully they do implement some good changes into this next rendition of the Jumpstart server. And with that, I wanted to talk a little bit today about what I think they should do with the Jumpstart servers, some of the pitfalls of the old Jumpstart servers, and what they could do to remedy those problems. So, for me, I think that one of the biggest problems with the Jumpstart server happened right at the beginning. Most people jumping into the Jumpstart server weren't new players, and as a result, all the new players actually ended up getting ostracized, much like on a regular server, and re-clear parties and things like that popped up on the first day, on the first week. People could not get into parties and were getting gate kept, even though the whole reason why they made the Jumpstart server was so that new players and returning players could come back and have a server that could be comfortable with and avoid getting gate kept. So my first suggestion for that is make it so that Jumpstart server is only able to be joined if you're a returning player. So you haven't played in a while and you're gonna get the Makoko buff if you go into a normal server. So that's one criteria. Or B, if you are a completely new player, as in you're playing on a new account that has no characters on it and has not played before. The reason why I think that these two are the only criteria that we should allow onto the servers is because there is pretty much no incentive for these people to gatekeep. Like there's no incentive for anybody who's a returning, like a existing player, to actually go into the Jumpstart servers because one, they might not qualify as a returning player. They're probably been playing the game already for a while, and as a result, they're not a returning player. Or two, if you have to make a new account, why would anybody do that as an old player? Maybe some people might to take advantage of having multiple accounts, but at the same time, I think that's a massive hurdle that a lot of people will not want to jump through. Like, you're going to have to play two separate accounts, have two separate Steam accounts, have to go through the Steam verification and trusted status all over again. And I think that because of that, a lot of the current players, existing players, probably wouldn't want to do that and make those accounts. Now, with that, there is a little bit of a concern that there might not be enough players in the server. But at the same time, I think that that is hopefully not going to happen. And also, I think that's a smaller price to pay for the better experience of the newer players, because if we open it up again to every single person on Lost Ark, I think that we'll get into the same situation again where new players are just going to get ostracized, they're going to get gate kept, there's going to be a bunch of re-clear parties, and as a result, there's nothing different between the Jumpstart servers and the normal servers. The next thing that I think was a big issue is that when you're playing Jumpstart, right, it's quite a long period of time. The servers are alive for quite a bit. I think it was like 3+ months or something like that the last Jumpstart server was alive for. I think that's too long of a period because a lot of people will start quitting Jumpstart server at some point, and then the server population will get low, and as a result, it'll get harder to find parties at the end of the day. I think that Jumpstart should be something that really is kind of like a boot camp. It'll take players who are returning or new players, train them up, build their accounts up to a point where when they rejoin the other servers, they will basically be like a player who's been playing the game for a while. Essentially, like, you know, you can think about it as like a coding boot camp, right? You go there for like a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever, as a person who's trying to learn how to code. And then when you come out, you're able to walk into society, walk into a new job, and be able to perform well in those jobs. I want this to be kind of the same thing. Maybe the servers are going to last like a month to a month and a half, right? it's going to be a shorter duration, but then the rewards are accelerated so that within that month and a half time period, if you're playing efficiently or playing well, playing every day, you're going to be able to get to the end game and catch up with the other players. By the time they leave, ideally, their accounts will look like endgame players. That way, when they rejoin the servers, they won't get gatekept. So what does that look like, right? Well, for me, that looks like at least one character to 1580, having the LOS 18 card pack, and having 180 plus roster level. I know it sounds like a lot to give a new player or like a returning player, especially for those who have been playing for quite a while and worked really hard to get that stuff, but that's how the game works. Unfortunately, new players joining right now, they're just so far behind that not having something like this will make it so that they just constantly get gatekept over and over and over and over again. So if they are able to do something like this, I think that would be great. I know some of you guys are worrying like, oh, well, if we give a new player all these new things, all these great things, and they don't know how to raid, then what's the point, right? That means that they're just going to hop in and be in incognito mode trying to ninja their way into these raids, these reclear parties, and then crashing our parties, right? Well, the thing is, I want these new players to not just get these things for free. I want them to actually do things in the game that are challenging and make it so that they have enough experience to actually do these raids properly. So it's not like they automatically get a 1580 character, they get LOS 18 and 180 plus roster level, right? I want them to do things like challenges. For example, by the time that they leave the server, if they want to get all these things, they need to have done Brel and Akan at least and have cleared both of them. And if that's too easy, maybe it's not even just clearing it. Maybe they need to get Deathless, which is something that players on the normal servers struggle with to this day. I mean, I don't even have Deathless Brel and Akan at the moment. So if they can show that they can do that, something really difficult that even players in the normal servers can't do, that will train them to be able to go back to the normal servers and not completely crash these parties and be, and sneaking into parties, lying to parties, telling them that they're reclear, because they would have done things that people in the regular server wouldn't have done before, and as a result are going to be maybe even much better players than the people in the regular servers. You never know, right? I think that this is something that's necessary for these new players, because when they finish Jumpstart, they head back to the regular servers and they just get gatekept again. And that's definitely not the goal of the Jumpstart server at all. And with that, I think that they definitely need to implement Horizontal Express for us before or at the time that Jumpstart 2.0 begins. If you guys don't know what Horizontal Express is, I will have a video up here on the top right hand corner that'll go over the details of what is included in that. But in a nutshell, the Horizontal Express is a system that is already implemented in Korea that allows players to accelerate the pace at which they're getting their horizontal rewards. So things like runes, things like skill points, things like omnium stars, those things are all given to you. Well, not all of them, but a number of them are given to you just by doing a couple of simple quests in the game. And that will accelerate your account to a point where you're not just completely floundering around in the endgame. You'll actually have a lot of the basic needs that you need to have to make your characters work well. So I definitely think that the Horizontal Express should be implemented by the time Jumpstart 2.0 comes out. And the last thing that I think is very important is the last Jumpstart server put players after they were completed with Jumpstart, right, into their own separate servers. I know West Coast has L'Oreal. I don't know what East Coast has in the East Coast servers, but the West Coast servers had a server called L'Oreal, and basically, if you're from L'Oreal, it's just like a big old tag on your forehead saying, gatekeep me from your party. Like, it doesn't make any sense that they were put in a separate server called L'Oreal. And also, the population of that server is probably not that big, so it's probably hard for those people to do some of the world events as a result. So please just put them into one of the servers, or let them choose, like, which server do I want to transfer my character into? Valton, Mari, Rondell, whatever. Ask the players when they're done with the server, which server do you want to go into, instead of putting them in a separate bucket, because that's not good for anybody in the game. So those are the things that I think that they definitely need to do with the Jumpstart 2.0 server. Let me know down in the comments if you think that this is the right step to go in. Do you think my ideas make sense? Do they not make sense? And also, what are your ideas? What do you want to see from Jumpstart 2.0? Let me know down in the comment section below. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please remember to hit the like button, hit the sub button, ring the bell for notifications. And also, I stream every single night on twitch.tv/MisoxShiru starting at 10 p.m. PST. So hopefully I'll see you all on my stream. But if not, hopefully I see you guys on the next video. All right, guys, peace out.